All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Fork Over the Ring, where we all know the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And I want to apologize in advance. I do have all five of my puppies over here, and they are going to make all the noise in the world, so excuse them and their poor home training now. Anyway, today we are going to make my favorite cookies, which are the Double Tree, or my version of the Double Tree cookies. They are a chocolate chip oatmeal walnut cookie that are bomb as freak. I used to love getting these cookies when I traveled for work and we stayed in DoubleTree hotels. I have practiced this recipe for years, y'all. I used to lie, and like when I didn't have to work at the hotels, I would lie and tell them that I was pregnant, or whatever excuse I could think of at the moment to get these damn cookies because they are that fucking good. And y'all, now I figured out how to make them because at the hotel they have them fresh behind the desk in this warm little thingy when you check in. So now I just have them fresh behind the fridge or the oven at my own house. And I posted a picture of my cookies twice, different times. And y'all, DoubleTree responded. So let's get to the recipe. So below in the description box, per usual, I will list out all the measurements. But here's just the nitty gritty of it all. So when you get started, you're going to start off with the oats. These are plain old-fashioned, dry, nasty oats by themselves normally. These are great for baking with, though, or for adding into different things you're making. So I take half of my oat measurements and I blend them up into my blender. This is a blender that I actually got from Target. It has come in pretty handy. At Joann's scammered it, supposed to be like $50, and I got it for $17. And if you want to know how I did that, mind your business. I don't ask you how you got your tracks and your lace front for cheap, did I? Nope. So mind your business. Anyway, I go ahead and I grind it up to really fine powder that we're going to later add to our flour. Next, we're going to start off with creaming our sugar and our butter together. Excuse my stovetop. This is the third batch I'm making of these cookies. So that's just chocolate chips that have melted on top of the countertop over there. So mind your business. Anyway, so I start with both brown sugar and white sugar that I have mixed in together, and I'm going to slowly cream them into my butter just to make sure that this part is like the smoothest portion of its all zwirling, okay? And it's going to be so good. When I bake, I prefer to use both brown and white sugar. Any recipe that you see me post mostly is going to have both brown and white sugar. And if I only have one, it's usually going to be only brown sugar. I enjoy the depth that it gives to it. Okay. Anyway, you're gonna blend this on up, and guys, I've said this before, but if you do not have a stand mixer or a hand mixer, you are more than welcome and able to just simply use your hand and a whisk or even a fork if you have to. Before I had a hand mixer and a stand mixer, especially in college, I would use a fork or a spatula to get everything nice and smooth. Takes a little more arm work, but hey, skip arm day, just bake. Then I add my eggs. And quick question, guys. Do y'all, like, when y'all make eggs, whether you're scrambling them, baking, whatever what you do with them, do y'all put the shells back in a container until you're done and throw it all away? Or do y'all throw y'all shells away as y'all use them? Because I do a mixture of both, just depending on how I feel during that moment. And my friend told me that only serial killers store them back in the box. I feel like I live alone, so who gonna see it? Nobody. Anyway, I now go ahead and I start mixing in my fine oats and my flour mixture together. I put them all in 1/4 cup at a time. You don't have to do them in that small of increments. I do suggest breaking them up into at least 3 or 4 different groupings, but I do 1/4 at a time because that's just the measuring cup I had in my hand and the size measuring cup that fits into my flour jar. But as you can see, I continue to let my whisk or my beating go on the entire time I'm adding it on, because again, it's just going to make a nice smooth mixture. And then here you'll see me getting prepared because I do like my oats to be a little thick. Now this is the optional part. I go back and I add the oats whole as well, so I put only half of it in the blender. If y'all don't like chunky pieces in it, you don't have to do that. I personally like it because like I eat oatmeal cookies all the time. So for me, this is perfect. Another trick is if you like oatmeal cookies but you don't like how chunky the oats are in oatmeal cookies, then blend it up. So they both work the same, but I personally like the way the baking and the chewiness the oats add to it when they're blended, but also when they are thicker. You're also seeing me here add my baking powder. I do not add salt to my baked goods. I say this all the time. On time I add salt to my baked goods if I'm not using salted butter, Because I use salted butter, I don't add salt. And I use salted butter because I'm not afraid that I'm adding too much salt. Like, it's just always a perfect amount. And again, it prevents me from having to add salt. This part is when you kind of go ahead and you're just going to take all the batter off of the spatula and off the mixture. My great grandmother was actually really good at this when I was younger. Like, she could have your bowl completely wiped down clean. And so with the spatula piece, I kind of suck butt at it. But you know, the older I get, the better I get. But today I'm pretty lazy. Now, guys, this is just our base. You can stop here. You don't have to do nothing else. If you just want a plain cookie, this base right here is going to be so good. But now here's the part that we jazz it up together. If you remember from my banana nut bread video, and if you haven't seen it, go ahead and click the link. I will add it below somewhere. I like to use chocolate chunks and chocolate chips. You should probably measure this. I don't, because I just feel like I'm going to have as much chocolate as I want to have. So, as you can see, I added some mini chocolate morsels and some chocolate squares. In total, this is probably about a cup and a half. I'm lying. It's 2 cups of chocolate. And then with my walnuts, they're supposed to be kind of broken down. If you like yours bigger, then go ahead. As you can see, I just kind of beat mine with my hand to break it down. And that's probably about a cup full of nuts as well. I'm lying. That's 3/4 cups. I'm going to put the measurements below, y'all. Don't trust this part of the video. When I be giving y'all measurements right here, because I can actually look back, because I write them down as I cook them, because most of the recipes, low-key, high-key, I make up as I go along, because I don't write my recipes down, but I always remember how to make them. So telling people I have to write them down when I record the video, so I can know what I'm doing. But anyway, I go through, I mix everything up, and then with a spoon, I didn't use a cookie scooper, I just used a spoon. I put them all on a baking sheet, and I'm going to put these in the freezer for 30 minutes, or you can put them in the fridge overnight, just so they can all firm up together. Once they do that, I store them in a little container. It's just like when you buy Toll House cookie jars, how you kind of just take out as much as you want at a time. That's what I do with these cookies. So I put them on a baking sheet. I spread them out because they are pretty big. The mixture makes 24 cookies for me. So that's 2 dozen. And y'all, that mixture took y'all 25 minutes at the max to make. And that's 25 minutes because you stopped to sing ratchet shit along the way. But if you ain't do ratchet stuff like I did, then it took you like 10 minutes to mix that up. So that's no time. Then I put these in the oven on 325, between 15 to 20 minutes. My trick is I will bake it for 15 minutes. In the last 5 minutes, I turn the stove off and let them sit there. As you can see, guys, they are still super soft. I let them sit on the baking sheet outside of the oven for another 5 minutes just to cool down a little bit. Then I put them on a cookie sheet, just so that the air underneath can go through. I don't know. I saw it on Food Network, so I've been doing it for years. I think that's how it works. Not really sure the science behind it. But y'all, that's it. And these cookies are so good. So please let me know how you like them. I took them to work today, and all my coworkers loved them. If you have someone who's a nut allergy, please don't feed them these, or just take the nuts out. And that's it. So like before, just make sure the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Come back, like, subscribe, share. I will see you in the next video. And if you make these, or if you're obsessed with these cookies like I am, just let me know. Bye, guys.